were non-existent.
Yeah.
And he forgot all about it. He's like, I was like, hey, when was the last time you had a little allergy flare up? He's like, it's been 3-4 weeks. And he's like, I don't think it's ever been 3 or 4 weeks. Like,
Yep.
he's always constantly, and he's a nurse, and he's always constantly getting the Zyrtec from the hospital or the little one-day pills from the doctor. He's like, I have to take this, man. I have to take this.
Yep.
And actually what we did is once we got his immune system and his nerve system working properly, his body was able to adapt to those allergens that usually would cause him to sneeze and cause him to become
Yep.
itchy-eyed and everything else like that. So it's not just that the type of air that you're breathing in. Granted, that does have a lot to do with it, but why did my immune system fight that off and not his? Why did my sister's immune system fight that off and not his? My sister's younger than my brother is, so she was even less developed than he was. So it's got to be something. There was a breakdown in his system somewhere. And that's where it comes in to what I talk about, the 5 essentials, and also checking the nerve system. The nerve system is what controls the immune system. And that's something, I don't know if you really talked about that much with your expertise, but I know that we really stress that in the office, and when you became a patient of upper cervical care, we really stress that, hey, if you're sick, we want to check your spine. We want to make sure that your nerve system's working. That way you get over it like that.
That's right.
So I know I still get sick. I still get coughs and stuff like that, but it's gone like that just because my immune system's working better all the time. And if anyone notices, the more medications that you're on, the more likelihood you are to get sick. I know when I was growing up, I took antibiotics for acne growing up, and I was on it from 13 to I think 17, nonstop, all the way through.
Wow.
So granted, did it kill some things off? Yeah. But I also got sick because I was constantly, my immune system was working overtime, not only trying to filter the antibiotics, which kills not just the bad things, but the good things. Let's think about it. Antibiotics. Anti means against.
Mm-hmm.
Biotic is life, so anti-life. It kills all good bacteria as well as the bad bacteria in your body. So we all have good bacteria in our GI tract to break down the things we eat and drink, and also to maintain a certain pH in our bodies to make sure that we're healthy at all times, so we don't become a little too acidic or a little too basic as far as our bloodstream goes. So that plays a vital role in how healthy we really are. So when you take antibiotics, which is what I was going to get into here in a little bit about how kids develop allergies, is because that's the number one. I saw a statistic, 66% of all kids under the age of 1 have been prescribed an antibiotic at one time.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I believe it.
1 year old, and 66% of these kids have been on an antibiotic for some time.
Well, you can't turn the TV on without seeing, every 3 out of every 5 commercials is something about medicine.
Right.
Buy this, buy that. And the side effects of the medicine, take this for a headache, but then you're going to get cancer and stomach ulcers and everything else because
Right.
you do.
Yeah, and
it's crazy.
Yeah, there's going to be. I can't believe some of those that you take it for allergies, but some of the side effects are impotence, multiple sclerosis, and all these serious things, irritable bowel syndrome, and
Yeah,
but you won't have allergies at least.
exactly.
It's like
exactly.
holy cow, like.
Yeah, we
All
just
right.
laugh at my house when they come on.
Yeah, yeah. So that's definitely something, like I said, we talk about. And just because you've taken it all throughout your life and you think you need it to get through the day, there are other options out there for you. And I'd be happy to address those with you. If you're a little too shy to call in, don't forget the number is 314-714-4200. And we'll be more than happy to address your question here on the air. Or if you want to email me, it's Petersmith, my last name, PetersmithDC @yahoo.com, and I can email you back, so I can definitely do that. I got about 15 or 20 email questions last week. I don't know why people didn't want to call in. Maybe they just caught it on the replay or something. But yeah, so we look at the body as a whole, and the allergy system or the immune system and allergies really start to develop as a young kid. Like I said, when did your kids start to develop allergies, Ron?
My son Adam started getting allergies when he was about 7 or 8.
Okay.
And which is what got me into the whole investigating
Right.
how to keep this from happening. We had laid carpet in his room, which comes to find out has formaldehyde and all these other chemicals from the glues released into his room. What would we do? We'd put him to bed, we'd close the doors, and thinking we did him good because we put new carpet in his room. No. No,
Yeah.
it did the opposite. It sparked them up pretty bad, and that's when we discovered the stuff
Right.
I put in.
I remember you telling me that he would sit down at the breakfast table and his eyes would be swollen shut. And
Yeah, he'd just be crying.
Yeah,
But
and just
what's wrong, son?
Wow.
No, nothing, Dad. I'm like, oh yeah, there is.
yeah, there's got to be something wrong.
That's right.
So usually when kids have been, was he on antibiotics at all growing up that you recall?
I imagine, yes, several times.
Right.
We tried everything. They took him, had shots of every which kind, trying to get him, but they would always spark back up.
Right.
Once we started getting cleaner air in the house, the symptoms just went away to hardly nothing. And now that he's doing upper cervical care, he's not on any medication at all.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's absolutely great. So usually, I know a big thing, and I have so many friends who have kids with the tubes in their ears. And before they get the tubes in the ears, all doctors and pediatricians want to prescribe antibiotics to try to kill this and try to kill off the ear infection. I know without a doubt those antibiotics have a direct effect on how the allergies become a role later on in life. Like I said, 66% of kids before the age of one have been prescribed some sort of antibiotic. And usually parents are very, very strict on giving their kids the antibiotics when they're that young because they want to make sure they're healthy. But really, they're doing a disservice because it's weakening the immune system. So when you're 1 year old, you don't have much of an immune system at all. An immune system is built. You're not born with an immune system. An immune system is built by little kids going out and playing in the dirt and picking this up and sticking it in their mouth and fingers in the mouth and snotty noses and whatever else. That's how an immune system is built. So I know when my son Colton was growing up, I encouraged, hey, go over there, go play with little Johnny. He's sick today. So and the reason is I didn't want him to be sick, and I knew he wouldn't become sick because his immune system was working better. We didn't vaccinate him, so his body wasn't trying to fight all those toxins and trying to filter through those toxins in his body on a monthly basis. So his immune system was able to, whatever it came in contact with, it was able to fight it off because of the fact it didn't have to filter through all these other things like vaccines and antibiotics and Tylenol and whatever else kids take these days. So I definitely promoted him, coming in contact with more bacteria. And actually there's been a couple studies come out lately of midwives who do in-home births. It actually has been proven to boost the immune system of the child because of the bacteria in the home. Because when you're born in a hospital, they sterilize that place beyond all belief.
Yeah.
You can't even find a good bacteria in there if you tried. So they're born into a sterile environment and they have no immune system. Then they go home and that's bam. After being here for 5-6 days, then bam, here comes everything. As to where if you just get introduced to it from the very get-go, it tends to build the immune system at a much easier pace than just all at once. So, also, kind of going on that too, it's not that little kids don't get sick, because every kid is going to get sick. I know my son gets runny noses and fevers and even has the occasional vomiting episode, but it's usually gone within an hour, 2 hours, maybe a couple hours at most. But once he falls asleep for the night, when he wakes up in the morning, he doesn't even remember that fever that he had, or he doesn't even remember that, that stuffy nose or sniffly nose that he had. So the body's able to adapt at a much faster rate, so you're able to get over sicknesses at a lot faster rate, which in turn, when you get older, means you don't get sick as often, you don't miss school as often, you don't miss work as often, which means you make more money, which means you're able to retire faster, which means a whole ton of things.
Right.
So it's definitely an ongoing thing. So what else can you tell our viewers and listeners, Ron, about what you do really impacts their health?
Well, just if I would say if anybody's out there listening and they have the springtime allergens, like we're talking about, the allergies, asthma, hay fever, sinus issues, that they should give you a call. Number one, I'd give you a call and make sure their spine is. You've got that sensor that you run up the neck to make sure the spine is in order.
Right.
And if it is, you don't adjust. If it's not, they need to adjust it. And then second, if they give us a call, I can come in and look at their duct system and get their symptoms down and see if we've got something for them.
Okay, good. Are you guys running any specials right now?
We are running the spring tune-up specials
Okay.
of $89 to come out and check your air conditioner. And
Okay.
we're not filter changers.
Right.
We come out and we do a full. My techs are there for a good 45 minutes or an hour, making sure we go from top to bottom.
Yeah, and that's the thing. People wait until the summer when it's 95 million degrees outside, and then their air conditioner goes out, and they call you, and they want you to be there right then and there. But if they go do it, if they call you now, hey, come check it out when it's a little slower, obviously, because it's only 75 degrees out.
Then we can cut them a break.
You can cut them a break, and also you can get that taken care of before it's 102 degrees out, and you have to sit there with 12 fans on you trying to sleep at night.
Which will come then too, but it's just it's on a different time frame.
Right. Yeah, because you'll have all these other calls to get to. So it's so definitely call Ron. Like I said, his customer service is beyond. To be honest with you, it is unexplainable. He goes above and beyond to really make sure you're taken care of, and that testimonial book really tells a story on what Ron really stands for. So Ron definitely wouldn't have that testimonial book that's this thick on great jobs that he's done, and it's not just the little jobs; it's the big, humongous jobs of everything where you're taking things out and putting things in. Because I remember you showing it at our BNI, and I'd flip through it, and it was people totally revamping things.
Oh,
You're taking things out and putting it in. So it's not just the small minor checkups or tune-ups. You're taking things out, putting them in, and you do a phenomenal job of really taking care of that person and making sure that they're happy, so that not only are they happy, but the rest of the family's happy, kids are happy, and so on and so forth.
Yep, and thank you for saying that. One of the things I always keep in mind, and I work with my techs to keep in mind, is not necessarily is everybody happy to see us. Their air conditioner just tore up. It's 95 degrees outside. They probably have allergies, asthma, hay fever, sinus issues. They're having, the humidity in the house is, they're irritable.
Mm-hmm.
Work with them. Understand their problem and be sympathetic and do them the best job you can. And just everything else falls into place.
Yeah. I know for sure that as soon as I buy my first house, and Ron's going to be there checking my stuff. Was it yearly that you recommend do that? Come in and check it?
Twice a year.
Okay.
Once in the spring and once in the fall.
Okay.
Spring for air conditioning and fall for furnace.
Okay.
And we'll come in and check it all out, make sure it's safe.
Okay.
And everything's working properly.
Good.
About Ameren UE's running a deal right now to where if you get a new system, they'll give you up to $850 off of that system to go with a high efficient.
Oh, wow.
Because the air conditioner uses the most electricity that there is in the home. It uses the most.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's hard to produce electricity in the summertime for Ameren. So, it works both ways.
Right.
Helps everybody.
Well, we're going to take a quick break. We'll see you back here in a couple minutes, and we'll get into what Ron's family's really experienced with upper cervical care. I know he's talked about it a little bit, just having his family under care, but we'll go into some details on how it's affected his life and how he plans to really make it a priority in his life to come. So we'll see you back in a couple minutes, and see you then.
Thanks.